Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this episode 3852, and today's date is March 3rd, 2026, and the title of the episode is War is Causing Fluctuations in the Economy. This is why it was done before the midterms. Central banks cause inflation, and that is a threat to you, your savings account, your retirement. Ask yourself an honest question. Does your dollar go as far as it did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or even last year? So what does the next decade look like for you and your savings? If your portfolio lacks exposure to gold, one of history's most reliable economic hedges, it's time to rethink your strategy. Gold has kept up with inflation and in many periods outpaced it. My friends at Noble Gold Investment specialize in helping people protect their wealth with physical gold and silver. Whether you're rolling over an IRA or making a direct purchase, their team walks you through the entire process and makes it very simple. No pressure, just education and experience. Right now, all new qualified accounts will receive a free 1/10 of an ounce American Gold Eagle as a thank you. Visit X22Gold.com. That is X22Gold.com, and discover how easy it is to protect your financial future. Or just click the link in the description. And remember, past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions. Let's get right into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the deep state, the corrupt politicians, the private West Central Bank, the World Economic Forum, they're going to try to use this period of time to convince everyone that the economy is falling apart. And again, this is what war does. People get afraid, people move investments around. And again, why do you think Trump went ahead and went into Iran right now? Remember, think of the bigger picture. Think about what Trump's mission is in the end. He's going after the deep state. He's going after the central bank. He needs to remove the leverage around the world. He needs the leverage to go after the source of the problems in this country, around the world, and everywhere else. The source that funds everything. And without getting rid of the deep state leverage and the central bank leverage across the globe, there's no way that you can finally go after the source. It's almost like in chess. You got to get through the pawns. You got to get through the rook, the knights. You got to get through all these pieces until you get to the king. The same thing's happening here. Trump, he needs to remove all the pieces on the board. He needs to have a clear path. He needs to make sure that they have no strength whatsoever to fight back in the end. And a lot of people tend to panic during this period of time saying the economy is done. We're finished. Gold is going down. Bitcoin's going down. The market's going down. It's all done. But again, once again, when you really step back and you take a look, why do you think Trump went ahead and did this in the beginning of this year? He knows that the economy, once this is finished, and I don't believe it's going to take that long, once this is finished, is going to spring back. It's almost like during COVID, when all of a sudden the entire economic system was shut down artificially. And of course, the fake news under Trump were saying unemployment is rising. It's great. Remember, it's artificial. If you shut your business down, you're not going to have business. If you open your business back up, you're going to have business. Same thing with the country. If you tell everyone to stay home and don't go to work right now, yeah, unemployment's going to go up because that's what they're going to do. They're going to collect unemployment because they were told to leave your job. The job is shut down, so collect unemployment. So yes, unemployment's going to go back up. When it's all said and done and they said, okay, you could return to work, what do you think happens? Well, all of a sudden, people aren't collecting unemployment anymore. They go back to their jobs. The economy opens up. The same thing during war. Now, everyone believes that this is going to be a long-lasting war that's going to last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. No, it is not. This is going to last a very, very short period of time. Everyone thought we were going into Venezuela and this was going to last a long time. And the market was shaking and everyone was afraid. Again, that's not what this is about. This is not the old days when the central bank, the deep state players had control and they're the ones who were waging war. Trump is there to make sure and destroy the leverage that the deep state, the central bankers have across the globe to maintain their power and to push their power. And this is going to last a very short period of time. And when it's all over, you're going to start to see oil prices go back down. You're going to see the market start to go up. You're going to see gold and silver start to move, Bitcoin start to move, and everything is all of a sudden going to be right on track for the midterms. Just like every single time before this with Trump. Everyone thinks that the sky's falling when it really isn't. Everyone thought, oh, if he gets rid of the climate agenda, everything's going to fall apart. Well, it didn't. And everything that people have been saying, they've always been wrong. And you could see, especially with the climate agenda, you could see the rest of the world is now following suit. Dr. Rainer Kraft, MDB, put this out and said, Italy is right. The CO2 emissions trading scheme has only and exclusively harmed the European nations. Germany would be well advised to take up this initiative and bury the ETS system. Since there is no global consensus on it, the failure of the EU climate policy is a done deal anyway. Better late than never. Let's stop throwing good money after bad. And once again, everything that they try to do had nothing to do with saving the planet, going green, and everything else. Basically, what it had to do with is collecting more taxes from you. Blaming everything on you. You're the cause of what's happening in this environment. You're the problem, so you have to pay just to live on this planet. That's really what they were trying to do. And think about it. Everything that they put into place completely and utterly fails. All the electric vehicles, everyone wanted it, right? Well, if that was the case, everyone would run to get. Actually, they were giving everyone $7,500. Please take these vehicles. Don't you want one? We're giving you the money. Nobody wanted it. That's why all the automobile manufacturers decided, you know something? We're not doing this anymore. Now think about it. If they didn't even give you $7,500, it would have been a done deal right there. The whole thing would have just collapsed right off the bat. But when you look out in California, remember the Ivanpah solar electric generating system? You know, that cost about $2.2 billion. Well, it's just sitting idly in the California desert, waiting to be decommissioned. Why? Because it doesn't work. Super Based in Cali says another taxpayer-backed green boondoggle that couldn't compete and couldn't deliver. An incredible waste, and they've learned nothing. And that's absolutely true, but they don't care about that. Because again, what do? They continually launder the money. All this stuff is so other people can get rich. All of this is not real because in the end, what do they really want? They want you to pay in taxes. That's what they really want. And yes, they want you to somehow survive with wind and solar power. And if the power goes out, if there's no wind, if it's cloudy every day, it makes no difference whatsoever. And you think about it, their agenda doesn't even make sense. Bill Gates wanted to block out the sun, and they wanted to use solar power. Just think about that for a sec. It doesn't even make sense. And if you put solar panels all across the land, especially in farmland, you can't farm, can't grow anything. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And you can see, as of right now, that is completely and utterly falling apart around them. And more countries, they're waking up. They're starting to see the truth, except those installed leaders. They won't see the truth at all. They'll keep going and moving forward with their agenda. But as the people become sick and tired of them and they start to realize that, hey, everything that you've been telling us is a lie, they will finally rise up and take those people out and put the people in that they want. But once again, you could see that the people, central banks cause inflation, and that is a threat to you, your savings account, your retirement. Ask yourself an honest question. Does your dollar go as far as it did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or even last year? So what does the next decade look like for you and your savings? If your portfolio lacks exposure to gold, one of history's most reliable economic hedges, it's time to rethink your strategy. Gold has kept up with inflation and in many periods outpaced it. My friends at Noble Gold Investment specialize in helping people protect their wealth with physical gold and silver. Whether you're rolling over an IRA or making a direct purchase, their team walks you through the entire process and makes it very simple. No pressure, just education and experience. Right now, all new qualified accounts will receive a free 1/10 of an ounce American Gold Eagle as a thank you. Visit X22Gold.com. That is X22Gold.com and discover how easy it is to protect your financial future. Or just click the link in the description. And remember, past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions. The fake news, the D's, and everyone else, they're going to be harping on what's going on with Iran right now. Because again, you could see that, yes, there are certain areas where the oil facilities are being struck. You can see that because of war, people are afraid because the Strait of Hormuz is closed. People are getting very nervous. But you have to remember, here in the United States, we produce a lot of oil. And this is only going to be temporary. But you can see that people are panicking right now. Brent Crude oil hits $85 for the first time since 2024. And the average price of gasoline went up by 11 cents overnight to about $3.11. Now, once again, why would it go up overnight? It makes no sense whatsoever, because this is fear. This is what happens. And it's almost like when we were coming off the petrodollar system back in the 70s, when we came off the gold standard, and they convinced us that the world is running out of gas. There's no oil, there's no gas, there's nothing. We can't find it anywhere. No, what they didn't tell you is that we came off the gold standard and we were switching towards the petrodollar system. And yes, everything is going to be fluctuating during this period of time. The same thing is happening right now. Right now, yes, there's a war going on. Is it a real war? Like it's going to be lasting, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? No, this is a very short event where it's going to put a lot of pressure and you're going to see regime change in the country. The people are going to rise up and take back the country, which means after it's all over, Trump's going to make a deal with the people in Iran. And yes, you're going to see oil start to flow to many other nations. Everything is going to change, which means oil prices are going to come way, way down. Think about it. The production of Saudi Arabia, the production of the other Middle Eastern countries, plus Iran, plus Venezuela, and removing the regulations and giving tax incentives to the oil companies in this country and allowing them to drill, it means oil prices are going to come way, way down as we move towards the latter part of this year. I think by the summer, we're going to see fuel prices go back to where they were. And then right after that, I do believe they're going to get even lower than that. And people are going to be absolutely shocked. And even Trump is out there letting everyone know that, yeah, this is just temporary. He says, if we have a little high oil prices for a little while, but soon as this ends, those prices are going to drop, I believe, lower than even before Iran. And he's absolutely right, because he knows exactly what's coming. And think about what he just did right now to protect the energy right now and make sure that it's stabilized. Effective immediately, I've ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation, DFC, to provide at a very reasonable price political risk insurance and guarantees for the financial security of all maritime trades, especially energy traveling through the Gulf. This will be available to all shipping lines. If necessary, the United States Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. No matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. The United States' economic and military might is the greatest on earth. More actions to come. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. So for now, he's protecting the energy at all costs to make sure that we're stabilized. But in the future, he knows that everything is about to change. Think about it. Iran has all this oil. The oil's been sanctioned. The oil's been sold to China. And same thing with Venezuela. Venezuela oil was sold to China. Now, once the new leadership is taking place in Iran and they're working with the United States and many other countries, what do you think is going to happen? All of a sudden, we're going to have so much oil, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. And oil prices are going to drop like we've never seen before. And then all this talk is going to completely and utterly go away. What do you think is going to happen to the market? It's going to go right back up. And you're going to see gold and silver get right back on track. This is a temporary blip in all of it. But again, Trump went ahead and made this move way before the midterms. Because think about it. Once the people take back Iran, once the economy all of a sudden turns around, it's not even going to take that much time. It's not going to take like months. It's going to take a couple of weeks. And all of a sudden, you're going to start to see everything start to level out, and people are going to be very, very happy. And Trump, he did this way before the midterms because he knew that he needed this to actually allow the oil prices to drop even further. And he removes the leverage of the deep state and the central banks. Because remember, his entire mission in all of this is to improve the economy as much as he possibly can while playing within the central bank economic system. Remember, we're not out of the central bank system. We're still slaves to it. Trump is removing us slowly but surely from the central bank system by building the parallel economic system. And yes, slowly but surely, we're going to be weaned off of the central bank system, and the parallel economic system with tariffs is going to start to take over. And you're going to start to see a huge shift. Now, in the end, to completely remove us from the central bank, he needs the assistance of the House and the Senate. That's why the midterms are so important. This is why everything depends on this election. Because if we're going to remove the Federal Reserve once and for all, we need the ability for the lawmakers to vote on it. And if the central bank gives us any type of problem, they can actually vote on it to audit the Fed. Because remember, that's what this is all about. Remember, this is not just a normal 4-year election or, hey, within the central bank system, let's just make the economy a little bit better. He did that in his first term. He made the economy a little bit better. Jobs were there. Inflation was pretty steady. Interest rates were coming down. Everyone was very happy. Then what happened? Biden came in. And what did he do? Oh, very, very quickly, he reversed everything. So he's not here to play within the central bank system. He's here to remove it. He's here to set us on a completely different course than that we've been on. Because what's the purpose of just making everything great so somebody else can come in and just reverse it like that? Because we're still in a central bank system. It makes no sense whatsoever. That's why with Iran, what does he have to do? He needs to make sure that the people take control of that country. So this way we can make an economic deal with them. This is why he's made a deal with Putin. This is why he's made a deal with Xi. Because in the end, we're going to have economic deals with these countries, something that we've never seen before. And this is why Trump is doing all of this. This is not just a normal 4-year election where the president comes in and says, oh, look, I did a couple executive orders. I made inflation go down. We got a couple more jobs. And yeah, oil prices came down by 10%. Everyone happy? That's great. That doesn't solve anything. You see, you have to remember the system was set up to make the deep state very, very profitable, to make the central bank very, very profitable, and to maintain their control over the system. And if you look back in time, any president that came in, all they did was play around within the central bank system. And look where it's got us. Nowhere. Until you go and get rid of the source and remove it, nothing will change. It's almost like a disease. If you have a virus and the virus causes welts or makes you have a rash and you buy a cream and you put it on your rash and the rash disappears, did you really get rid of the virus or did you just treat the symptom of what the virus is causing? I mean, yeah, you put the cream on, the rash goes away, you stop your cream, all of a sudden the rash comes back. Like, hey, I don't understand why this is happening. You got to go to the source of the problem. And that's what Trump is doing right now. He's going to the source of the problem. But again, you can't go directly at the source unless you remove those structures that were put into place to protect the source. And that's what Trump is doing right now. And you can see every step of the way, he is putting everything in place to make the economy boom. And he knows that the economy is going to boom because, once again, he already set everything in motion. He already set the tax refunds with the one big beautiful bill in motion. He already has the oil companies drilling like crazy. He already captured Venezuela, and the oil is being delivered here to the United States. The second tranche of oil is going to be coming from Iran. So when everything is in place, the oil price is going to drop like we've never seen before. And with the one big beautiful bill with all the tax refunds, it's going to put a lot of money in people's pockets. And think about all the construction jobs. Think about the tariff dividends and everything else that's being put in place. And eventually, I do believe removal of the income tax, because again, where is all this headed? We're headed to a point where we're going to wean ourselves off of the central bank system. Slowly but surely. He already started it. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. And everyone's like, who cares? That's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Those people that work in those industries, it's a very big deal. Remember, when the central bank was first created, they started from the wealthy and worked their way down. Trump started from the poor, the lower middle class, is moving his way up to the middle class because, again, this is the majority of the population. And he's going to give their wealth back to them, the wealth that was stolen by the central bank system. So it has already begun. There's no need to panic. And I do believe in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start to see things really start to turn around. And as we go throughout this year, what do you think is going to happen? Fuel prices are coming down. Jobs are being created. People got their refunds. Trump is going to probably put out hints about, hey, maybe we should look at our gold holdings. That's going to push gold way up. It's going to push silver way up. And I do believe as time goes on, especially when I do believe he removes the income tax for a certain bracket of income earners, I do believe this is going to set the course. And this is what's going to show people that he is headed in this direction. Because once again, you could see that there's no other reason to build the tariff system unless you're going to get rid of the central bank system. There's no reason to keep both of these because one is a debt system, one is an income system. One is privately owned, the other one, the people have control over. So you could see where all of this is headed, and you can see slowly but surely this is where Trump is bringing us. Because once again, he knows when you step back and you take a look, we need to stop what they've been doing for a very long time. And he has to end the enslavement of the population. And once it ends here, it's going to end across the world where people will no longer be enslaved to our private Western central bank system. You have to remember, there's a private Western central bank system in almost every single country. And I do believe as Trump does this, each country is going to be set free. And all these installed people, they're going to be bowing out and they're going to say, okay, I'm done here. And the people are going to take back their countries, take back their economic system. And we're going to see something that we've never seen before. I do believe Trump calls it the golden age. And that's where all this is headed. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.